Good morning, welcome to the shop, and welcome to a diesel. I've never had a diesel before, and now I have this one, which you've probably seen on Hoovie's channel, and I did buy it for him for what he paid for it, $1,500. And no, we're not going to delete it because of the same reasons as him. This channel is not big enough to get in a legal battle with the EPA. I am not heavy D-Sparks. I mean, I think he lost that battle too, so no, we're gonna fix it. We're gonna try to fix it at least. I think the emissions on this car are fixable, and the reason that Tyler and Ninja didn't do it is because of the uncertainty of it. They're not gonna waste their time, effort, and money on an uncertainty, but I will, because I'm me. But there's a lot of other issues with this car. It absolutely reeks of oil. Diesel oil burning is a horrific smell, so valve cover needs to be done, which means I have to deal with direct injectors for the first time in my life. There is a coolant flange on the side of the engine that is literally peeing a stream of coolant out the side. Just between Tyler's house and here, it went from full to empty. Motor mounts are absolutely trashed, and then we get to mess with the DEF tank. So I guess first, well, I'm going to do the things that keep the car from being usable, which is the coolant and the oil leaks. Once those are done, it can at least be used as a car until the emissions shutdown happens. But yeah, I at least want to. The hood strut's going to hold? Hey, it's warm enough in here for the hood struts to hold. That's nice. I'm taking Johnny at his word with his diagnosis that the valve cover is going to fix all our oil leaks. There's a whole lot of oil on the front of the engine. I'm not sure what that is. Everything's just kind of wet. I guess I just gotta get this cover off. Who knows what that hole's for? I sure don't. And then the flange, the coolant flange is over here. It is that guy. Very common failure. Looks reasonable to get to, I guess. And you can see that it's just been peeing on all those hoses down there. It's been peeing on everything. It smells terrible under here. But at 300,000 miles, I'm willing to forgive a lot. And this car, I mean, it doesn't just drive great for having 300,000 miles on it. You get in this car and drive it without looking at the odometer, and it just drives good. Then you look at the odometer and you're absolutely astonished.
Spoiler alert, we clearly got the car fixed and home, but more importantly, this video is sponsored by Carly. Carly is the all-in-one car diagnostic and coding system that is really easy to use, and it actually came in clutch later in this video. Just take your Carly dongle, plug it into your car, and that unlocks a world of possibilities. And that might seem like hyperbole for what is a diagnostic program, but it is quite a bit more than that. For example, on most BMWs, despite every car reviewer I've ever read saying that they prefer 5 flashes for the convenience turn signals, the one-tap thing, every BMW is 3 by default, with no setting to change it. But there is a setting to change it. With Carly, you can ignore that it says the condition of my car is very bad. So if we go into our FRM and we change it from 3 to 5 on the turn signal, next time I go to change lanes, I'll get 5 flashes instead of 3, because in Kansas, you're supposed to have the turn signal on the whole time you're changing lanes. And I prefer to take my time. But beyond just changing turn signals and reading codes, there is also the Carly Smart Mechanic. This is one of the coolest things about this being a subscription model, is they're constantly updating this online database of what codes mean. Sure, you can go to your local automotive chain and have them plug in a reader and spit you out some gibberish that says, hey, you've got a problem, but it doesn't tell you what that problem is. The car only knows what its sensors are telling it, and sensors lie sometimes, but with an online database, those lies can be interpreted and turned into true facts, yo. So in my case, obviously this car has a few codes, but one that I didn't know what it meant immediately was this 004A74, and that's a BMW specific fault code, not the genericized OBD2 version, which is another neat thing that this does, and that is LIN message, preheating control unit missing. Now at first I didn't think this was a very big deal, but it turns out it is kind of a big deal. If we go to Smart Mechanic, that means that the glow plug module is just missing. The car doesn't even know it's there, so it's not working at all to preheat my engine when it's time to get going, which can lead to rough starts or no starts. Hello, car. But thanks to Carly, I now know that I need to go on Rock Auto and order a $110 glow plug module. It's actually a very common issue on these cars, but hey, this made it easy. So thanks again to Carly for sponsoring this video. Check them out in the pinned comment and the description below, and I'm sure there might be a code or something on screen right now if you want to use that. Now back to fixing this hoopty.
Well, to say I'm lost would be an understatement. I got all the beauty covers off, and I'm looking at this, and yeah, I pulled up a service manual. I still have no clue what I'm looking at. Intake manifold goes through the valve cover apparently, so it looks like that's probably going to have to go off. The service manual doesn't mention that at all. Guess I'll start with getting the air filter out of the way, figure out what here has to come off. Looks like the oil feed line of the turbo might need to be moved out of the way or something. Oh my gosh, intake manifold probably going to have to come off. Probably something with the EGR cooler is going to have to happen. I need to get these struts out of the way. We don't have any e-torques here, so that's fun. Yeah. Cool. Injectors will have to come out, but I don't know if I have to bleed the system down because the service manual doesn't say. It just references a bunch of stuff that looks completely different from this. It's like, remove the air filter. It's this big tube on the side. No, it's not. It's right here. What are you talking about? Probably just coming from ignorance here, but it seemed completely wrong to me. So I shall forge blindly ahead and hopefully not break anything too bad. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, the 300,000 mile engine is a bit rough. First off, we have slight reduction in diameter, just a little bit.
It's weird there's just that one port.
Yeah, right. EGR activities. There's the coolant boy, but also this coolant boy is very unhappy.
Don't forget the other coolant boy over there.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. I took this hose off for the EGR cooler, which has clearly been molested to some degree, so I was going to cut that and put a rubber hose on there, and then it broke off the sealing surface on that giant cooling thing down there. Oh yeah. Tyler dug out the remnants. R.I.P. baby boy. So now I need to take the fan out, take the EGR cooler off, and pull whatever plastic monstrosity that goes all the way back through here. Oh, hey, yeah, look, the mounting tab's broken off and everything. Yeah, that thing's just completely effed about 16 ways from Sunday. It's also huge. That thing is massive. And then
probably best to replace that one.
Oh, yeah. Well, we have to now. It's broken. And then we have injector thingy. And
well, E90 motor mounts still remain E90 motor mounts.
Easy to do.
Yeah.
And they are down there.
Yeah.
So this has turned into a probably week-long adventure, but at least we'll know that more stuff has been replaced.
And then you'll be able to make diesel noises.
Also, look at the world's most adorable V-band clamp. I love it. But yeah, I see why people delete these. There's a lot of nonsense going on here. And then our oil leak, I'm kind of unsure. I mean, valve cover clearly needs done. It's just kind of moist everywhere, but this looks like it might be turbo oil feed. Right. This looks like it might be turbo oil feed lines or something, because the valve cover is not leaking on that. And that is soaked. So
I guess I'd also go ahead and...
you want to order some oil feed lines for me as well?
I guess go ahead and order a vacuum pump. If not,
oh, the gasket. Look at this. That's fun.
Just some Gorilla Tape, you'll be fine.
Right.
Those actually don't look bad.
Yeah, those look reusable. We're going to reuse them.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't look reusable, we were going to reuse them.
They're still a little pliable.
They're a little pliable. Yeah, I do like that those are captive.
Jeez.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. Nuggy time.
I'm hungry and tired. It's the next day and we're back at it. Tyler's here. We've been working for like an hour and a half and I'm just now getting out the camera to record. Pulled off the vacuum pump, starting to pull off the EGR cooler. There is one bolt that eludes us. I got the coolant thing. What is that thing? Tasty. And yeah, you can see where it's cracked over there. So that's out of there. There's our vacuum pump. You can see it was just absolutely pouring from under here. And then we got our injector lines off. Tyler's getting our injectors out. We're getting the valve cover off. Fan shroud out of the way. I ordered a bunch of parts last night. Bunch of parts, so...
See, I like working on your stuff because it means I'm not the one spending money.
Tyler wants everyone to know he figured out what he's doing.
Yeah, there we go. Now they're loose. Just trying to be as gentle as possible to these clips because, well, we don't want misfires.
We can clean out those ports and the valve cover when we get all this thing off of here. What do you have for us?
So, I borrowed an injector puller. It's meant for Volkswagen. I was optimistic, thinking, you know, maybe Volkswagen, BMW, you know, everybody's all the same.
You know better than to be optimistic around here.
Yeah, I was wrong. But luckily, I googled and the forums provided, and we need.
That's rare.
We need no injector puller. We simply need your E6 socket, because the way these injectors are held down is with these little studs, and they've got a they've got a lip underneath of them.
They're jacking.
Something like that.
That's cool. It's like E46 water pumps.
So yeah, if you just loosen them side to side to loosen it, put a little tension on it, loosen the other one, do the same. Yeah, it works to
built-in puller.
Pull the injectors out because the hold downs are really sturdy and they sit all the way underneath the lip of the injector, so you're not pulling against plastic or anything.
Man, BMW really does a solid with that engineering design.
Right?
The only one on the car. Getting this thing out was kind of a nightmare, wiggling it out around everything. And I mean, I know it's kind of a meme that BMWs have a lot of cooling hoses. This BMW has a lot of cooling hoses.
Oh, you did manage to get it out, okay.
I did. I don't even know what I did different. I did the same thing we were trying and it just worked for me somehow.
But,
So, yeah. I mean, like a regular E90 has like all of 5 cooling hoses. This has 12.
all of them.
I don't know why. Wow, look at that charge pipe. That thing is
Nasty.
chungy.
So, yeah, now that I've got those loose, I just take your little trim tool gently under the bottom of the injector and whoop.
Wow.
Yeah, so 2 down, 4 to go.
Repeat 4 times.
Yeah, but, I mean, on the bright side, this seems to be working.
Yeah. So after those are out, what's left to get the valve cover off? You got the...
So this bracket here, I've got I needed to take a break from fighting with it. There's one bolt up underneath of there that bolts to the side of the valve cover to get this whole vacuum actuator, whatever assembly off of it.
Yeah.
So I've got it loose other than one bolt that's like tucked way back up in there.
Yeah, and then I got the EGR cooler out, which is a similar sort of battle. I don't know how that flange is going to suck to put back in place. The bottom bolt, both bolts are just absolutely impossible to see.
Hey, I see something else you're going to have to buy. Yeah.
What's that?
Crankcase vent hose. It's destroyed right there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What even is that?
Yeah, it goes right down here into the
Charge pipe.
yeah, into the charge pipe.
Oh, maybe that's why it's so slow.
Yeah, well, and it may actually be part of the charge pipe because it's got this step ear clamp on it. Probably only sold with the charge pipe with that doohickey.
All right. Well, I'll check real OEM when I get home. This is why we're taking apart. We're trying to get this thing as disassembled as we need to get it today, so that we can see everything that we need to buy and replace, and then I can buy and replace it, and hopefully clean some stuff while I'm in here.
I guess at this point, if you're ordering anything else, go ahead and get a thermostat.
Yeah.
Since we're opening the cooling system, disassembling so much.
Yeah, it's
now
right
the
there.
thermostat's there.
It's right there.
So
okay, FCP order. Damn it, that's going to delay us another day.
Another one.
This is gonna be a next weekend sort of deal.
Another one.
I definitely believe the internet when they said that removing this is the worst part of this job. Getting to the bolt on the bottom is an absolute nightmare. And then we also got once we got that out, we could get the heat shield out of the way. So now we can also get our little leaky oil line out. And yeah, that crimp, not the greatest. So that's probably what that and this were probably actually my main oil leaks. But hey, if we can fix a few other things while we're in here, give this car a bit more life before the next time it has issues, and chances are the next owner is probably going to delete it anyway, whoever that is. I mean, it's just kind of the thing to do with these, but it's not what I'm going to do. I'm just going to fix it right. Oh, it's happening.
That valve cover sounds real crispy.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if I shouldn't have just bought a whole new valve cover.
God.
I think it's just...
Yeah, everything's loose.
Just-
Look at all the bolts. All the perimeter bolts, and then all of the studs for the injectors.
Yeah.
There are so many bolts.
They really don't want this just coming off, do they?
Right. Danger to manifold.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
It's a boy. What do we have in here? You know, for 300,000 miles,
Not bad.
she's pretty damn tidy inside, I will say.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it is certainly an engine inside.
Much engine.
Very well.
Thermostat is out.
Ready for new thermostat, ready for valve cover gasket. We've got new thermostat. Is this new thermostat? That's old thermostat. New thermostat here. Pretty straightforward. Not much to it. Valve cover gasket is hard as plastic. I looked online, went to FCP Euro. New valve cover is $1,800 from FCP Euro, and there's no aftermarket options. So it is going to be a fight to get this gasket out of here, and boy howdy, I can't mess it up. Oh boy, yeah, that is. I already started trying with a pick and didn't have huge success. So, yay. Lots of new parts have finally made their way on here. Coolant pipe, did the thermostat the other day. Put the EGR cooler on and then had to take it off because the EGR return line just shattered as soon as I touched it. I replaced the feed line. I got a new one of those. That is over here somewhere.
It's down there underneath that cover.
Aha. I bought a new one of these because this was pinched off, but it wasn't brittle, so I didn't think that I'd have any troubles there, but of course the drain line just instantly shattered. So I'm gonna have to order a new one of those, probably go to the dealership so I'm not stuck waiting for parts for 5 weeks again. But now that I got it off of there, it goes up under here. It's kind of a huge pain in the ass. But now I can put the EGR cooler back on because that new line should be installable with everything in place. Shouldn't be too bad. Also got the new oil fitting on there. It goes from this distribution block just right to the back of the turbo. Pretty dang easy. And also that new coolant elbow that was the thing that we thought was wrong with it to begin with. And while it was definitely wrong, there's a whole lot left. So gonna put the EGR back on. My spring solution wasn't fouling on anything. And then continue. Hello, Tyler.
Hi.
I truly abandoned you here because I was also your ride here, and I come back and the engine looks like an engine again.
Yeah. I got everything over there buttoned up. Have all of the vacuum lines, your new feed line.
Oh, that does look shiny. The vacuum lines thing is impressive that none of them broke.
Oh,
so,
it did.
Oh, really?
The one for the large turbo, the wastegate, it tore. And
Oh.
I spent 30 minutes with a pick trying to get the crusty bit off of the wastegate actuator. Finally got it, and there was enough left, and then I got those down here done.
Yeah, everyone. So when I was reading about this, the advice that everyone had was just cut them and then splice them back together later instead of risking like breaking all of the little plastic nipples that
That's
they attached
exactly
to.
I kind of did that. So I cut them lengthwise on the nipple,
Oh.
and then they came off, and I just trimmed them back and reused the.
Oh, interesting.
There was enough slack left to do that.
That's a neat idea.
That's what I did on these down here because you were
Yeah.
warning me of how precarious they were to.
Yeah, and
do.
that's this whole. I mean, that's intake off to replace that because that's this whole line all through here from the vacuum pump.
Yeah. Also spent a little bit of time doing cleaned out these EGR passages.
Nice. Yeah, I completely ruined the floor doing the EGR passages and the valve cover a few weeks ago. Gosh, it's been weeks now.
Yeah, it has been a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been like. It's not even one shipping carrier having a problem. It's literally Amazon.
breaking.
Amazon lost. I ordered a new Milwaukee polisher. Amazon lost it in their logistics network, and I had to get a refund. They didn't even. They just straight up said we don't know where it went.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
So I ordered another one from Home Depot, and it was way more expensive.
Oof.
But it hopefully gets here tomorrow. And I could only buy it with the battery. There was no.
Hey, now
Option.
I have another battery.
I will have it, which is apparently good because I guess they chew through batteries. But engine mounts are in.
Yep.
Wow, they're so shiny. And they have vacuum lines running to them for some reason.
I suspect it's some sort of like acoustic dampening, like Audi and Mercedes and stuff. They'll do like electric motor mounts.
Yeah,
But-
Nissan as well
That's right. Yeah, it's weird getting a check engine light
for your motor
for your
mounts.
engine mount.
Yeah.
Some of the Audis they have a transmission mount. It's electric too, and those are cool because they have like a piezoelectric deal in there, and they'll vibrate to cancel out the vibrations of the engine.
Yeah, what is it? Porsche that actually has ones that are actually like linear actuators that will actually shift the engine around.
Weird.
I think that's Porsche. I'm not sure.
I don't know. They give German engineers a ridiculous budget, and they're like, go crazy.
Yeah, I love that for them. Okay,
Let's see a max effort German build.
it's the Veyron.
You're right.
And back here, I took the heat shield off, dropped the exhaust, bunch of bolts
took
and
my
stuff.
ratchet.
Yep, sure did. And then there's a couple nuts up there. You have to remove two of something in order to get the top cover off, and I think it's those. I don't know. The tank is just kind of free floating now.
How does the exhaust come down?
Oh, I just I have it hooked back up here.
Oh.
I took it down, but then I didn't want it to just be dangling and like stressing stuff out, so I put it back up.
Yeah, because literally your only flex point is your flex pipe.
Yeah, I didn't love
And now that I don't have the engine jacked all the way up, you should have a little bit more wiggle room.
jack it up.
Yeah.
And then transmission mounts, I guess, as well. Actually, they don't look bad, but while we're here.
Yeah.
Another day, another disaster. Here's the part that kept us from putting this together last time we were here. I don't have a free set of hands.
How much was this?
$40. There's no aftermarket one. OEM is your only option. And nowhere sells it but the dealer or FCP Euro. Or World Pack in this case.
Yeah, World Pack. Yeah.
Yeah, you actually bought that. I forgot.
All for one tube.
Yep.
So you got your.
Man, homie's zooming.
Oh,
on
you
that
did
mic.
find an EGR return spring. Sort of.
I made one. Yeah. Oh, right. You weren't here for that.
No.
Yeah, that
no.
was fun.
Yeah. It smells diesely over here.
I can't imagine why. Oh, yeah.
Damn it.
Maybe we go get... Let's put that on and let's go get hood shocks.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight that this whole time. So it goes under the EGR cooler, yeah, from there to there-ish.
Oh.
Well...
No.
Let's see here. You want to hold the camera? I'll do it.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Rare moment, Jake working on his own car.
I'm pretty sure it's like this.
We can just go inside and get vice grips instead of replacing this like we should.
Let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. That's the other thing we needed was your fancy socket to get the injectors all put back together. So now it's time for fan and plastics and other stuff. And while you do that, I got in the trunk and I'm going to go back there and def things.
Yeah, downside on the fan, have to get under it in order to bolt the cooler back on.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Well, we got to get under it to do the exhaust too, so there's just some things we're not going to be able to do today.
Yeah, I'm gonna just set it in place.
Yeah.
But the cooling system is buttoned up,
Yeah.
so that's cool.
It's empty, but it's buttoned up.
Yeah.
Intake is on?
Yeah, intake manifold is on. I'm trying to mentally check like what all I've put back on here. You got the valve cover done, all the vacuum lines are in place. Yeah. It looks like a mess, but like,
Well,
or not.
that's just how M57s be. So you would expect that the panel that makes up the roof here would be, pretty easy to get to from the top, just these nuts around the perimeter, but it has these two studs right here that go down through the depth tank to hold it up, and so you got to undo those from underneath. Then you can take the panel off and get to this fun stuff at the top. And also we found these really fun urea crystals here on this overflow, which is an overflow. I thought it might be supposed to be connected to something, but it doesn't smell like anything. So what we need to do to fix the actual emissions issue that was such a problem with this is, first of all, clean this off. And it looks like we've got a couple of Allens here. Take this off, and then it's just like a fuel pump, really. It's just this thing, or just like a fuel sending unit. There's actually not a pump in here. It's a level sender and a heater for the active tank. There's an active and a passive tank. This bigger one is the passive tank. It transfers into the active tank and then gets injected. It's basically just a really fancy swill pot. So, I guess I'll get started on that. Alright, the old unit is out. You can see we got some liquid in there. And here's our guy. Honestly, I'm not really sure what could have actually failed here. This is about as simple as it gets. There's like just some contacts in that tube there that tell what level it's at, and then that's a resistive heating element. Maybe these wires fatigued or something. They weather sealed that. That's glue in that heat shrink there. Huh. I do not know. To get this out, these tabs lock in place. You got to give it a little twist to the left to get it out. Yeah, there's the level sensor. That's all it is. There's a ground at the bottom and then two probes, I think. And when the fluid level is above those probes, it knows the level. So I guess I'll get this new one in there, wrap her all back up. This come with a new seal. The seal's a big chunky boy there, but hey, there we go. I had to take it all back apart because I didn't get the arrows lined up. There's an arrow on the sending unit, and there's an arrow on the retaining ring, and there's an arrow on the tank, so you know how everything goes. Retaining for this is broken. It's supposed to sit there, but it doesn't, so
Yep. Time to put the cover on, and then I've done everything I can here until we can get this thing back on the lift. And I put the bolts back in from the bottom, put the heat shield back on, bolt the exhaust back up, and then it's good. Hey, look at that, it's back together. I did have to remove this to get that metal plate. Oh, hang on, I need to put this back. But I had to remove that to get the metal plate back on, and it's all back together. So now I guess I'll put this back on and give this a vacuum because it's filthy.
Hi.
Having fun?
Yeah, sure. This is the whole, like,
Sorry, what?
the whole chassis brace, like,
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
cabin air cowl apparatus on the E90 is probably the worst thing I've ever experienced.
It is.
No, never mind, I take that back. I am working on a 3.0 Audi.
So, how much cranking do we think it's going to take to prime the fuel system? I guess it's primed up to the high pressure fuel pump. It's just the high pressure lines that need blown out.
Yeah,
So those should clear themselves, right?
it should take a few seconds.
Well, I'll hold you to that.
It should. Not saying it will.
Live. Hello?
Go for it.
I've got nothing in here. Okay, noted. This thing needs a battery.
You don't say. There's that thing right there.
Oh,
Yeah, sweet. Oh, that was spicy.
oh,
Hey.
we got all kinds of activity now. All right. How many cranks are we thinking? A few. Okay, cool. It is not liking that. Things have escalated slightly. I've jumped this with my jump pack before. Oh, wow. Big Sparkies. Huh. Hey!
Nice.
Goodness gracious, let's leave that for a second. Thanks to this video sponsor, Carly, for actually letting me monitor the fuel rail pressure and what else was it? Oh, injector amount. We were curious if it was actually firing the injectors or not, and my other scanner was not able to show me that information. This was able to show me more engine PIDs than anything else that I had handy. So thank you, Carly. Also, we got the new battery registered, which is super easy through the app. So like I said earlier, give them a check out. And I guess we can pull this in and button it up now, hopefully before the hail hits. Okay, so we've got the exhaust down again, and here's the bottom of the def tank. Push it back up, and I can put these one nuts back on here. Tighten those down, slide the heat shield on, and then there's one oil cooler in the front that needs one bolt put back in, and this thing can go back on the road, and we can see if we've actually done a good job here or not. $500 of parts on a 320,000 mile diesel BMW. I think that's a pretty good job. These things are supposed to get something along the lines of 40 miles per gallon while also hauling ass. I can't think of a better family car except for one with less miles on it. Now, where did that nut go that I dropped? All right, time for coolant.
All right, it's time for me and my bolt head to whip the diesel. Yeah. So I've never owned a diesel before, but I've put about 1,000 miles on this since we fixed it, and for the most part, it's been pretty good. Notably, there has been no return of the emissions codes. So that's mission accomplished right there. George Bush joke. But there has been another issue where, as I mentioned earlier in the Carly ad read, we have a problem with our glow plug module, and these cars seem to rely very heavily on their glow plug module. And one of the things that can actually make that go bad is a bad thermostat. Fortunately, we replaced the thermostat, so hopefully that's some future proofing. But the glow plug modules run so frequently in these cars that if the thermostat is messed up, they'll run more than they're supposed to, and it will burn out the module. It doesn't help that they're bolted right to the side of the block. But that's $110 from Rock Auto. They still make them because it is a pretty common issue on these cars. But once the car is running, it is lovely. I do still need an iDrive controller, so I can't control the radio, though I was able to use the voice commands to change it to aux mode and plug my phone in so that I'm not just listening to the same 3 fast food restaurant commercials the entire time I drive this car. Now, if I've said it once, I'll say it again, and I'll say it another 3 billion times. These E90s are just the perfect era of BMW. E46s are getting really long in the tooth. I think they're a lot better looking, but the E90 is just such a good daily driver. It's such a good mix of old BMW that still has the hydraulic steering and modern convenience and a nice interior that isn't falling apart. This is 100,000 miles. Listen for rattles with me. There are fewer rattles than my 20,000 mile BMW M2. Genuinely really well-built cars. Of course, they can be abused. You do have the melty shenanigans on the passenger door handle over there, but beyond that, and this is a base model, like not base model, but it's a non-sport package, which might as well just be poverty spec, and it still drives really well. These seats aren't the greatest, the comfort seats that aren't all that comfy, but at least they're a nice color. The exterior color, absolutely wonderful. 10 out of 10 BMW. This spec, exterior over interior color, absolutely delightful. We do have front lower control arms known as tension rods. Those are very clearly gone, so we get some clunking and some wandering on the highway, but it's not that bad. I'll leave that for the next owner, and the tires are shot. That's a pretty personal decision. Someone who's buying a BMW is going to want specific tires on it, so I'll leave that as well. A friend of mine has already kind of called dibs on it anyway, so he's fine with all of this. He also has an iDrive controller for it already, so I probably won't be fixing that either. Something I have noticed is I didn't buy OEM motor mounts, and I think that might have been a mistake. If I was going to keep this car for any amount of time, I would definitely rectify that mistake. You get a bit of vibration from the motor, quite a bit more than I feel like you should, and you get a decent amount of vibration at idle as well. It's not that the engine's running poorly or anything, it's just the motor mounts aren't quite right. It happens, you know, that's just kind of how cheap ones are. I'm not really sure how aftermarket parts get made now that I think of it. I don't know if they like buy the car and then reverse engineer it, or if like the manufacturer has to hand out specs to aftermarket parts makers. I'm actually not sure, but they might just not know what the right durometers are. There is a little bit of a squeak from the AC blower motor on occasion. The air conditioning itself works wonderfully, and we've got heated seats and all of that stuff. The bass sound system still sounds great. You know, even without all of the features, these are still extremely nice cars, especially for the money you can pick them up for, and they never really need all that much. I mean, they might need a lot to be perfect, but they don't need that much to be drivable. So all in on this car, I think I am $2,300. That was a $1,500 purchase price from Tyler, and then about $800 in parts. And I have that number bouncing around in my head. I don't remember if that includes the glow plug module and the iDrive module. I think it does. So as it stands now, I'm actually I think I just squeaked in under $2,000 on this job, which obviously doesn't count labor time or the fact that Grimes just kind of showed up and did half the job for me, which I'm very thankful for, of course. But I've been daily driving this ever since we fixed it, just because I really like these E90s. I mean, everyone told me that I would hate to sell this, and I kind of am going to be sad to see it go, but I need the space for more projects, though it has been very nice having a 4-door sedan. And the most amazing thing, 325,000 miles and all the windows work, including the sunroof. I think I should go buy a lottery ticket.